The brand new trailer for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon has just been released, and it is epic. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Road to Rebel Moon. This is the web series where we follow all the latest updates and rumours regarding Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. This is episode 11, and today we will be breaking down the very first full trailer for Rebel Moon. Now, please bear with me today as I do have COVID currently and it has hit me quite hard, so it is a bit difficult to talk right now, but I had to break this trailer down for you guys as soon as possible because it looks amazing and we are all hyped for it. The first thing to quickly mention is that Zack Snyder confirmed that a mobile co-op video game for Rebel Moon will be released soon and will be set after the first two movies, so we will have to look out for more news on that. Now on with the trailer breakdown. We begin the trailer with Jimmy, voiced by Sir Anthony Hopkins, standing in a field, and we get this close-up shot of Jimmy's hand grazing over the top of the wheat, then cutting to a beautiful shot of Jimmy looking off into the sunset. We hear Hopkins say, "Do you know the story of the Princess Issa? In myth, she was called the Redeemer." We then get a shot of who I believe is young Korra in a spaceship. Now, I believe he is talking about Korra, and the trailer continues to push that belief as it goes on. Hopkins continues saying, "It was said this child would stop the madness of war," with General Titus kneeling down on the ground in horror and cutting to people with bags over their head, with an eye in the middle, who I assume have been captured by the Motherworld. Hopkins then says that she was to usher in a new age of peace and compassion. We then see a statue being shot down by one of the Motherworld's ships, which is massively contradicting Hopkins' previous line. Hopkins continues saying, "I was given memories of a world I will never see." Now, I believe he is referring to the characters I find most interesting, the scribes, beings that have been controlled by the Motherworld to rewrite history through memories. During Hopkins' voiceover, we can see civilians being captured and being put aboard ships by the Motherworld soldiers. Now, this next part I am a bit unsure of. Hopkins says, "Loyalty to a king I cannot serve." And it's clearly a funeral, but I'm not sure whose it is. If you do know, make sure to let me know in the comments below. We then cut to Nemesis in a town up in flames holding a young girl in the water, with Hopkins saying, "And love for a child I could not save." We then see one of my favourite shots from the trailer of Korra and the rest of the Rebel crew walking out of a ship with supplies, looking up to some ships flying above them. In the bottom left of the image, there appears to be some guards or possibly scribes standing in lines, so I assume this is on the Motherworld. We see Korra hitting a bell with a large hammer alerting the villagers to the enemy ships that are flying towards them, with someone asking her, "What do you think they want?" and Korra responds with everything. So it's very clear from this conversation and the rest of the trailer that Korra has a really big past with the Motherworld. She is the core of this story. Then we see Admiral Noble walking out of a ship with scribes following him and soldiers standing either side of him. We then hear Noble saying he's found her, the Scar Giver, referring to Korra, where we see a montage of Korra taking down some people in a bar. Following this, we hear Korra saying she is a child of war, while seeing her younger self walking alone in a town, looking over at a Motherworld tank firing a missile. Potentially the beginning of Korra seeing the cruelty and violence that the Motherworld is unleashing on the universe. Now, the most surprising shot of the trailer for me is when we see someone holding up this stick of some sort, who I assume is the new king of the Motherworld, and then cutting to Korra with shorter hair in the Motherworld uniform cheering them on. So she was definitely on their side and defected, and now clearly they have found her and they want her back. We hear her say she was taught love is weakness, as we see her boyfriend die in battle and her clearly traumatized by it. Cutting to her in battle in her Motherworld uniform, firing at the enemy and then holding a flag on top of a flaming building. After that, we see Nemesis talking to Hamada, who appears to be holding a child, with Nemesis saying there is a difference between justice and revenge. Then cutting to them in a battle where we see her with her awesome double blades. We then hear Admiral Noble claiming there is a price for your defiance, quickly cutting from Noble to Kai to a character I'm unaware of, and then to the back view of another character landing on the ground, who I believe looks like a big villain for the Motherworld. We then see a woman jumping off a building with a man in the foreground with a hat on, and in the background a ship is crash landing and huge explosions are going off everywhere. The next shot we see is of a Motherworld ship flying away from a planet that is being shot at by the much larger Motherworld starships. I assume this is just an example of the chaos they can cause. We see Milius crawling along the ground before cutting to General Titus in battle. Then something shoots down some ships at a docking station that to me looks quite similar to where Cora and the other rebels had landed on earlier. I believe this is after they had completed whatever mission they were there for, and those ships being blown up are when they are trying to leave. We then have Belisarius shushing the people in the room, saying how he loves this moment, which I guess is because a crowd outside is cheering him before he comes out and greets them. After that, we cut to a shot of a variety of ships flying towards the camera, and I assume towards a planet or other ships. Then cutting to Cora flying a ship. We then see one of the Motherworld ships flying away from Velt, the planet that Cora was hiding on. Now, I believe Cora and Kai are in that ship and took it after taking down the soldiers who arrived on Velt. After that, we see the legend himself, Ray Porter, aka Darkseid, saying he doesn't want any trouble to Cora and Kai. So I assume they are asking him how to get off the planet or how to get explosives to take down the soldiers. Cora says they aren't here to bring any trouble, before cutting to an incredible shot of the ships blowing up and the soldiers flying to the ground. Then we start getting into the montage part of the trailer, where we get to see a lot of quick shots cut together. So I will pull out the most interesting shots. First, a spaceship firing missiles towards an enemy ship, which definitely means we are getting a space battle, which will look incredible. We then get another shot of Nemesis with her dual lava blades. Then to Tarak saying, "Are you ready?" before cutting to a four-armed creature in the Colosseum I believe we see in this concept art. Following this, we get a shot of a ship flying low on the sea with lightning in the background. Then getting a shot of Blood Axe played by Ray Fisher with a voiceover saying, "You and I both know fear," with us seeing two different shots of this woman, who I assume is of some importance to this scene. We then get a scene with Tarak and this alien bird creature that seems to be recreating the scene from Harry Potter, where Harry has to earn the trust of Buckbeak, even showing them bonding and flying away together. We then see this alien character that has some really good CGI and a really unique design. Following this, we see Cora in a Motherworld uniform kneeling down before someone on a throne. It doesn't look like Admiral Noble, as this person appears to have a bald patch on his head. We then cut back to Hopkins saying, "The king is a man and a man can fail, but a myth is indestructible." I really like this line. It's very similar to a saying I quite like. People may pass away, but their legacies will forever live on. It's a very strong message that is true in every walk of life. During his speech, we see a man kneeling down and then cutting to Cora hugging an elderly man. Then we see a young girl with blonde hair with a bird on her finger during winter, which I believe is this scene from the concept art. We now see one of my other favourite shots from the trailer of Jimmy in the same field with red orbs of light surrounding him that then turn blue. Beautiful contrast between dark and light, red and blue, and I think this will be a really special moment in the film. After that, we get a better view of the Motherworld soldiers, even seeing two of them with blue blades. Then in the Colosseum, we see a shockwave explosion appear that was clearly targeted for the Motherworld army. We then get the view of one of the guns firing on a ship at another ship which is still at the port, which links these two scenes together. This must be the ship that took down those two police ships earlier on in the trailer. We then get a very cool scene of Cora and Noble battling it out with those blue energy blades the soldiers were carrying. This next shot is probably my favorite out of the entire trailer, purely because it was the very first piece of concept art we ever got for Rebel Moon, and now finally we have it in live action. Cora and a couple of the rebels walking towards the Colosseum, and the final words from Hopkins is asking the question, "Who among you is willing to die for what you believe?" before cutting to the Rebel Moon logo. What a trailer. Perfectly shows off everything you need to know, and Zack Snyder has knocked it out of the park. This looks incredible. I am so excited to see this film, and hopefully it gets a theatrical release because this film deserves to be on the biggest screen possible. So make sure to let me know what you thought of the full Rebel Moon trailer in the comments below. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon, so until then, have a great day. Bye!